Happy Thursday. Okay. July is still July.
And July is flying.
It's really the 20th of July. I'm not quite sure when that happened, but whatever. Anyway, so there's an interesting fact. There's a study that followed 70,000 women from 2004 to 2012, which is a really long time, and found that those who were optimistic had a positive outlook on life, that significantly lowered the risk of them dying from several major causes of death, which include heart disease, stroke, cancer, including the breast. I want to highly recommend the Small Doses podcast with Ananda Lewis and Amanda Seals. Changed my life. Anyway, cancer, breast, ovarian, lung, and colorectal, infection, respiratory diseases, etc., etc., etc. But what does that tell us? That tells us that maintaining a positive outlook in life is not only a crucial element of personal growth, and development, and well-being, but it totally affects your physical health overall, which is like that important because we all trying to live longer, right? Positivity entails having an optimistic mindset, focus on the bright side of your circumstances, and approaching challenges with resilience and hope. And there is actually such thing as a positivity and a negativity bias. We've actually probably touched on this at some point during the podcast, but we're going to get into it a little more today. And we're going to do a deep dive. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you should stick around because this episode is for you.
Hi, I'm Pam Williams, a mother.
And I'm Jessica E. Williams, a daughter. And this is a mother and a daughter truthful chat, where we discuss our 35-year multi-layered relationship.
We've been through so many ups and downs. Not only are we family, but we're business partners in the high-stress world of event planning and production for short films.
We've also shared the same therapist for over 10 years. What some people call codependence, we call collaboration.
So join us as we share stories from our lives,
have candid conversations with other mother-daughter duos,
and shed light on the roller coaster ride of being a woman while raising a woman.
Welcome to Truthful Chats. Hey, welcome to Truthful Chats. Designed to engage us on the ongoing practice.
Ooh.
Okay.
So tonight we are drinking.
You made it.
Cranberry juice and limeade, and I went
I'm not
too.
Sorry, I don't like limeade like that. I'm sorry, Bishop. I'm not lying. Okay, I'll put it where I can put it. Anyway, welcome to Truthful Chats. We did the clink. I'm not gonna drink it. Anyway, this is designed to get us to the ongoing practice of generational wellness. If you have no idea what that means, check the description box or something below for an explanation of generational wellness. And then every month here on the channel, we have a theme of the month, and then our Truthful Chats unpack that theme just a little bit. So we are in July, very, very hot July. Is it hot where you are? It's disrespectful in Los Angeles how hot it is. But anyway, it's July. Our theme is embrace. And today's episode is embracing the power of positivity, which we were talking about. So let's get into it, Pamela.
Yes. So you know that, is it Pharrell? Don't worry. No, not don't worry, be happy. But
I mean,
because I'm
happy song.
Because I'm happy. So, you know, we all had that song and it was going and playing and everybody was into it. That was Pharrell. I was thinking of Bobby Farron.
Don't worry, be happy is the song too.
Don't worry, be happy. But anyway, the message is the same. If you can figure out how to not worry and be happier, this is a good thing for your life. As Jessica just mentioned.
Period, honey.
It's going to affect your mental health. It's going to affect your physical health. It's going to, like, that physical health thing is a whole another open show.
I'm in my 30s.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So let's just discuss the difference a little bit between the positivity bias and the negativity bias, right? So positivity bias refers to the tendency that people have to see everything in a positive light. You know how you have those glass half full, glass half empty people?
Not the
These are the glass half full people. These are the glass that say, but I still have all this left, as opposed to the other people who say, half my juice is gone. You know, so you just have to see which side of that spectrum that you kind of fall on, right?
Clear your throat a little. You're talking a little.
All right, so
drink a little cranberry limeade.
Cranberry limeade, I'm going to drink.
It's not terrible. It's just not my favorite.
It wasn't what I was expecting.
Okay.
Even myself. All right. So These people tend to focus on the positive things and they minimize or ignore the negative ones. It affects your emotions, it affects your decision making, it affects your well-being, and we just found out it affects your health.
Physically.
However, the downside to having a positive bias is sometimes you just don't look at life realistically. Like things could
Magical
be going
thinking.
really, really, really badly, but you're not thinking about that because you see everything so positively. So you have to have a balance in life as in everything else. You want to have a positive outlook. You want to tend toward the positive side, but you don't want to go overboard so that you're totally unrealistic. You can't figure out how to get through life because anytime anything bad happens, you just fall
apart. And
right.
Life is lifing, so you got to be able to have
both
sides, positivity and a little resilience.
It could make you have unrealistic expectations. Then, like I said, when a problem comes, you just totally fall apart. We don't want that. However, negativity bias, on the other hand, is the tendency to focus more on everything negative. You just, I don't care how good something is. You're the person. You're the person that's going to find what is bad about this situation that we're in. Y'all, everybody has one of those kind of people that they know. And it just leads to pessimism, anxiety, negative self-talk. It hinders your personal growth and it causes stress, which, as we just found out,
affects your physical
health. I want to keep saying this over and over again, right? So you might be asking yourself why this matters. Whether you're positive or negative, that's why. It's going to affect your health. And we as Black people got enough to worry about.
It's enough stress.
Living in America to actually continue to look at things from a negative perspective. Even how, we live in America, so there's some things that are not so good. But let's try and swing it around and see if we can find the positive part. Right?
You can try.
And all of us have this, you've developed a way of coping. You have a mechanism that you're like, this is how I get down. This is how I roll. This is how my family gets down. We don't take this. We take this, blah, blah, blah. We don't do that. We do this. Some of it's positive. Some of it's negative. As you know, we're here at Create Generational Wellness. We're trying to get you to look at the things in your family dynamic, in your history, in your personal history that could be detrimental. And if you can figure out how to change it a little bit, it could be better.
Don't just take the things at face value.
Yeah.
We always say
that. And then this is the thing that I'm always so amazed about is that all of these things really have an effect on your brain and the chemicals that are released in your brain. So, I talk about this all the time in terms of, if you know me, in terms of conversation and how somebody can push a button or say something and it can either release dopamine or cortisol into your body. Well, if it releases dopamine, that's the feel-good hormone. That's the one that gives you pleasure and gives you motivation. And when you do things well, you feel good about yourself because that is the dopamine kind of moving through your brain. Now, some of you,
we're gonna take a pause here for a message.
I'm gonna drink a little bit.
16.
Some of you,
your dopamines and your endorphins.
Some of you may have developed some unhealthy ways of creating dopamine in your brain. And when I say that,
what are those unhealthy ways, Pam?
as we talked about earlier today, some of y'all just into hunching for the dopamine.
And all the wrong
and
people.
Humping
Anybody
for
and
dopamine.
everybody would do it. And we don't want you to feel judged.
We don't want you to feel judged. Yeah.
But it does lead to poor life decisions. I don't know if you all are fans of Insecure, but let's make it about them and the secondary reality. Okay?
Yes.
Molly and Issa was making a lot of sometimes foolish decisions.
We just start watching this over again. This is why this is fresh in our mind.
Based on the humping and hunching. Okay? Issa and Daniel was a thing. It ruined her relationship with Lawrence. If you haven't seen the show, what are you doing? Molly and Dro. There's a lot of things that had
It gives you a sense of pleasure, and you get that hit, and you get that high. But
sometimes you gotta learn and grow. But
it's easier just to be positive and nice to people to get the dopamine instead of getting into all these situationships. However, that's just not the only way people are negative with the dopamine. This is why people do drugs. It's why people become alcoholics. It's why
everything in moderation.
Yeah, it's why people fall into addictions, because the dopamine hit becomes so good and so pleasurable, and you're so motivated by that you easily fall into some bad behaviors.
Bad behaviors.
But it can be good, and it can be used, as we say, you can use your powers for good. So think about ways you can create dopamine from healthy, wise choices and perspectives.
It's really about your choices.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit more.
We're trying to empower your choices.
But then cortisol is the one that you don't want.
Cortisol is
it has some benefits because it can fight inflammation and certain things in your body. Yes, I just learned that.
I always hear about it as such a negative.
However, it does cause anxiety and depression. It can give you headaches, heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, memory and concentration problems leading to dementia, problems with digestion, trouble sleeping, and the weight gain. The weight gain in that middle space and in your face, a lot of that is from producing too much cortisol from your negative activities,
lifestyles, people,
negative
humans,
activities,
food,
and negative choices, and being around negative people, because it's like secondhand smoke. You might not be the negative person, but if you're around somebody all the time that is negative, that it falls over onto you, and you have to sort of fight to get back into a positive place.
This is negative, what I'm going to say, but can we say that we can blame cortisol for why Carly Russell created a whole taking scenario for herself? Can we blame cortisol for that?
I ain't even trying to get into that. I don't have enough information. Let me just say that. I don't have.
We're praying for you, sis. We're praying for you, sis.
She needed a dopamine hit for real.
You just can't believe everything you see on the internet, people. I know everybody wants to help the Black woman be found, but that man was really shysty the way he put up her little searches like that. Anyway, I didn't know all that about
later. That'll be, but anyway.
So the real question is, where do you fall? Are you more of a negative biased person or a positive biased person? And really, I feel like, again, balance, right? You should be a little bit of both. You shouldn't be Pollyanna-ish, but you also shouldn't be a Debbie Downer. Dang, we went the Grinch start?
Yeah.
His heart got to grow 3 inches. Anyway,
that's usually a problem with people that are negative. Something has happened.
That's true.
Trauma.
Something
traumatic has triggered it and kind of made their heart go smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just bleh all the time.
Yeah. So here's the good news. Per usual, we're never here to judge. We're just here to
give you information and help you make better choices, we hope.
And ourselves to make better choices.
Yes, indeed. God.
So no matter where you fall, on the spectrum, positive or negative, you can always change. You can always rewrite your brain to think positively and rewire your brain chemistry. The brain has neuroplasticity. I wanted to make sure I got it. Neuroplasticity, which means I think that it's like Play-Doh. You can mold it and shape it. Or GAC if you're a Nickelodeon kid. Remember how it's all string? You can move it and mold it.
That's a good analogy.
And that means that it just popped in my head. You can rewire your things. That's all I'm trying to say. So you have to consciously practice positivity, of course, to readjust your brain, because we're Black in America, or just a human in life, and we've all been through some things. Okay, we're not going to get into oppression, Olympics. Okay, we all done been through some things. So things have scarred us, and so you can literally reshape your neural pathways, reinforce your positive thinking patterns, etc., etc., etc. So let's get into a couple of tips on that. Embrace realism. Ooh.
Say that again for the people in the back.
Embrace realism. Part of that magical thinking thing, and maybe too much positivity, is some people, you don't be telling yourself the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth will help you. God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, the universe she,
whoever
her,
it is.
Whoever it is that you, except Lucy, we don't do that over here. Whoever you ascribe to, you gotta just be willing to acknowledge the positive things and the negative things, aspects of the situation, the people, the circumstances, just to have a balanced perspective. Okay, that's what we're trying to say. For those of y'all, if you in a hotation season, that's fine. Okay, we're not judging. Own your choices, though. You can't be sitting up here talking about so and they just, you made an executive decision to be in a hotation season. So just go with the things that come with that. That's all I'm asking. Just own your choices, okay?
Embrace the reality.
Embrace the realities of what comes with that.
Of the choices that you made. Whatever they might be.
Whatever they may be. We just use that as a situation, okay? So just go with it. Appreciating the good things in life, big or small. We talk about that all the time, about having gratitude and things of that nature. Again, practice gratitude, reducing stress. Gratitude, just gratefulness improves your self-esteem, your resilience,
reduces your stress.
And
because it really makes you look at at least once.
It puts things in perspective, which is kind of what we're talking about, big or small. So that that helps with the bias, right? So if you're naturally negative, you just naturally gonna see everything as bad, okay? But if you start gratitude practice or start thinking about little things in your day that,
big or small.
If your negativity meter is here, it might be like, boop, 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 boop. It's not gonna be a lot, and then it might go down to negativity, but it ain't gonna just be all negative all the time. Like, did you want this situation?
You get a little shot of dopamine.
A little dopamine.
Little dopamine to kind of cancel it.
And we're big on journaling here, writing things down, getting your low feelings out, getting your optimism together, your well-being, all those things. Like I said, low feelings.
Well, no, I'm just laughing because it's so black. We say, little black people say that all the time. Your little friends, your little feelings, your little this, your little that.
And it helps to have a record on the days that are not so great.
Yes,
You're really just preparing for the days that aren't great. That's really what we're saying. You're just putting practices in place so that when the days come that are not so great, you have a record of like, everything's not bad. Like I did that.
And it doesn't stay bad. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, okay? People I get it. We all have been in a rough patch where you feel like it ain't going to get no better. But things be moving. I'll say that. I'm not even going to say it gets better in time. I think it does. But part of that is just moving forward. If you just stop where you at, you're not really going to know. You got to take a gamble and move forward. Surround yourself with positive people. I think we just kind of talked about that. Listen, Carly Russell was surrounded by some interesting people. They can tell you the truth about. It's given a Lifetime movie. We need a Lifetime movie, MTV, something. I'm just saying. I know we're on strike and all of that, but I'm just saying somebody
in your spare time could be right.
I feel like it could be Zola 2.0. Remember how Zola was written off of Twitter? I'm just saying. Okay. Anyway. We'll crowdfund is a thing. Positive people engage in uplifting activities. We talked about these things. Consuming positive content, books, movies, audio books, podcasts, things of that nature that encourage you to be a better person. Self-reflection, mindfulness, whatever that is for you. I talk about meditation all the time.
I write.
Taking walks. We took a walk today.
Yes,
it was a good time. My brother's here right now. Anyway, set realistic goals, things that are achievable. That goes back to being realistic. Things
Tell yourself the truth.
Things that you can actually do like soon. You know what I mean?
You could have a dream. But in
that
your
reminds
dream,
me of Hustle and Flow. Everybody
in your dream, there are steps in your dream. So take the first step in your dream. Don't just go from 0 to 100. Who said that?
Shout out to Drake though.
Yeah, not really.
Drizzy Drake, Dominican Poppy Drake. Anyway, be optimistic. Key to Sounds of Blackness. We're gonna do it, but we didn't want to pay for it.
We didn't want to pay for it.
Do y'all know I was today years old? It was like a couple weeks ago when I really actually discovered that song was called Optimistic and not.
What'd you think it was called?
Keep your head up to the sky. As long as you keep your head to the sky. Why? Be optimistic.
Be optimistic.
I never heard that part.
Yeah.
I never heard that part. I think it was because I was listening to it as a youngin', so maybe all the words wasn't clicking. Anyway, focus on solutions rather than problems.
Yeah.
Practice resilience, right? We have previous episodes. I want to say even the Believe month or something. How you come back from the setbacks. You know what I mean? Comeback season, also one of my favorite Drake records. Come back. How you gonna come back? How you gonna bounce back? That's a Big Sean song too. And I was watching him today. Again, Side Effects of Fatherhood, Amanda Seales. Go check it out. Anyway, we watch other podcasts. Cut yourself some slack. Don't talk about this all the time. Give yourself grace, some compassion.
Please give yourself
accept your imperfections. Being kind to yourself. Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why that's super important.
Okay, girl.
Because then you learn how to give grace to other people.
Which is cut other people some slack.
Come on, cut other people some slack. If you don't know how to cut yourself some slack,
how you gonna do it?
You never have grace for anybody else. You always think they should have done this, and I don't know why they did this to me, and I don't know why this. Then sometimes
negativity bias.
It's not about you. So cut yourself some slack. Cut the other people some slack.
Yeah, because you get to, which we always talk about, practice empathy, practice kindness, foster positive relationships, contribute positively to your environments. But you can't do that if you're not practiced.
Okay? Yes.
And then you gotta, again, we were saying about moving forward. You gotta just believe that things can change. People can change, circumstances can change. Growth mindset is possible. We also talked about that previously.
That's a serious thing. It makes me really sad because, with
we're getting deep.
I'm gonna get deep for 1 minute. I don't know why I wore this.
Girl, that's your brow. It's the age of pleasure.
I'm gonna give myself some slack.
It's the age of pleasure.
All right, I'm gonna give myself some slack.
It's a hot girl.
But on a serious note, this is something that I pray for a lot about our teenagers. Because the frontal cortex of your brain is not fully developed at this
That's
age.
why they be making the decisions they
make. And so this is why suicide rate is up for teens, because there's nothing in them that believes that things can change and can get better. And looking at the last 3 or 4 years here in America and around the world, and global warming, and people feel those things really deeply.
That's true.
And if you don't have a mechanism in place for how to change your thinking about things, it can really take you into a dark place. And so keep that in mind when you're watching your young people. I'm always
former teen church teacher. Children's church worker.
I'm always thinking about the kids. I'm always thinking about the teens. I'm always thinking about the young people and what this world, the impact of this world is kind of having on them. So,
and I feel like as you're older, you have the advantage of life experience
of seeing that things did
you know what I mean?
Better. Yeah.
So things feel very final, very finite, very this is the thing and how it's always going to be. I told you the main thing is just moving forward. If you keep moving forward, something's bound to change, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that just helps with your ability to learn, to grow, to improve your mindset. But you got to be practice at it.
Yeah.
And if you can help other people around you do it, that is helpful as well. So we don't keep losing people. It's sad. It hurts a lot to lose people.
Yep. And a lot of people, you hear people say, cut yourself some slack, cut other people some slack, be mindful, but you don't know actually how to do it. And here's another thing. You may think that you're positive, but you really might not be. You might be that person in the room that when you come in the room, people go, oh Lord, here we go. You
might be the walking negativity.
You might be you might be that person. So if you got the guts, if you got the courage, if you can pull yourself up to it, ask your people, ask your friends, hey, do I come across as negative? Do I do this? Do I do that? Like, we do that a lot. Sometimes
she don't never like when I do it though. She don't never want.
Most people don't like it, but you still need somebody to do it.
But let me tell you what the thing is. She don't be listening. So this is why having the same family therapist is useful, because we go talk. He is our mediator. When we can't, I'd be like, she really don't see the pattern. Like, she don't really recognize what's going on. Our therapist is the person that I'd be like, I don't get your girl. Like, I don't know what you finna do, but she don't see his pattern though. So it helps, because sometimes
and vice versa.
Whatever it is.
I will say, and then
whatever.
So and so and so. This is a pattern. So
it helps because he knows both of our hearts and both of our brains. And so he'll be like, did you think about it like this? Or did you think about it like that?
But if you can't afford a therapist, or you haven't made up your mind that it's worth giving up some of your grocery money for, because I'm telling you it is, that part. But get somebody that you trust and you can have an open conversation with and say, I'm worried I could be being a little negative, or I could be being too positive. Because that's the other end of the spectrum where you're like, girl, wake up. This is the truth of what's happening here. So
she's talking from experience.
Have an honest conversation.
Well,
you sound like Tank. Now, have an honest conversation. Have an honest conversation and ask somebody, what could you do better? Like, just be humble enough to say, you know what could I do better? Do you see some places where I could do it? And then if somebody tells you something, try to make the effort to change it, right?
I mean, ideally, but some of y'all are not equipped, so I would really
recommend a therapist,
a mediator. You know what I'm saying?
And maybe that's one of your friends. Maybe you have a friend that's the like kind of calming one, or the one that can help you guys have the conversation.
Medicine, they got saved.
Yeah,
something like that. A Dr. Sebi type, if you will.
Yeah, you need that person.
Erica Badu type, if you will.
Again, try to focus on the good things. Like, this is a pet peeve of mine. Like, whenever I get ready to go somewhere, no name shall be mentioned, but I always, when we're going somewhere that might have,
here she go,
a problem with parking, I'm always the person that says, oh, Lord, I just thank you that we're going to have a parking place. I have other people around me that say, I know we're not gonna find no parking place.
I was like, actually, it's not me.
I know we're not gonna find a parking. You know, I just try to like
negativity.
Yeah, I'm sure that we will find a parking space. Let's just believe that we will.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, that's just a little example of how you can focus on good things. Open yourself up to humor. What makes you laugh?
Righteous gemstones. Righteous gemstones.
Watch something stupid. Watch something funny. But again, that laughter and all that releases the dopamine in your brain, and
it's important.
Pushes out some of that bad cortisol, and makes you feel better. You just,
And laughing has no strings attached.
Yeah, it brings your mood up.
Comedy.
Pushes that depression out, right? And even if you're not feeling it 100% yet, the more you laugh, the more the physical chemicals are released in your body that cause you to feel better.
For the laughter.
Yeah, we talked about spending time with positive people.
That's always
the ones. We don't have to tell you. You at the party, you at the thing, so-and-so comes in and everybody looks at each other like, here we go. Or the person comes in the party and everybody's like, yay, hey, so-and-so is here. You want to be the A, so-and-so is here person, right?
Ideally.
That would be good. All right.
Few more. Practice positive self-talk. That is a journey. Because we're hardest on ourselves. We're our own worst critic. I made a whole movie about it, which we have to post somewhere.
At some point, we will.
But it's been a crazy couple of months. Y'all are going to be patient with us. We can't do everything all at once and not go crazy.
And stay positive.
Anyway, stay positive, sleep well, hydrate, all the things. Anyway,
hygiene, all of
yeah, because any form of negative opinion of yourself is hard to shake. It's not always your own thoughts too. Like negativity bias, we don't know no babies that's just negative. We have in the last few years, it seems like they come out angry, but usually that's taught, right? So,
or you hear something said to you over and over again.
It's a parent, it's a sibling, it's a teacher, it's a something. You remember that little girl that thought she was ugly? Her brother. Remember that video? And it broke all of our hearts. And then she helped her through that. But she probably had heard that for like the longest time. She didn't just make that up. So, you just have to be mindful of how you're speaking to yourself, how you're letting other people speak to you. Sorry.
You go.
Sorry. We just had we had a whole discussion about this earlier today. Okay. And the things that people was letting people say to them, I was like, I don't understand how this is happening. So it's not just what you say to yourself. It's how you let other people speak to you. Okay. Because that starts to infiltrate and filter into your brain. And then you be feeling some type of way. So you have to learn how to protect you. All day, every day. Shout out to Janae Aiko, Big Sean, and Noah. Anyway, all right. I could go down the list. Anyway, Just be mindful of the voice in your head. Negative self-talk is important. Research shows that even the smallest shift in the way that you talk to yourself can regulate and influence the way that you feel, the way that you think, your anxiety, how you handle stress and process stress. Okay. I cannot tell you how many times I was stressed during the play process, but I was like, fam, we gonna do this. You know what I mean? And I had to do that for myself so that I can encourage my actors and the other people that I was working with. Because if I was feeling like it wasn't gonna work, then they wasn't gonna feel like it was gonna work. Lucy tried to get your girl like twice. It was like 2 rehearsals that I almost just, maybe 3 that I almost just, but I had worked on my positive self-talk. So
you have.
I have
come
a
very long way with that. I will commend you.
Thank you, mother.
And professionally.
Sometimes she be criticizing me too, but it's okay. She does. That's public praise. I do appreciate that, but other times. Anyway, so an example was to say, instead of like, man, I really messed that up, like, oh, I'll try that again a different way next time. Instead of be like, you're so stupid. I have to catch myself though. I'll still be like, girl, that was dumb. And then I'll be like, no, it wasn't. Let's reframe that. Use positive affirmations to rewire your brain. There's like a bazillion channels about this, okay, on the YouTubes, or you can write your own affirmations. It's all about rewiring your brain. Visualization, we talked about that before. I know all the saints, only saints is tripping, but I don't know, visualize something the Lord told you in your prayer time in the journal or something. Make it make sense to you. Y'all be really scared of everything. I don't know. Anyway, that's not a judgment. I'm just saying. So visualization, visualize your success, positive outcomes, which will enhance your motivation and your confidence. Maybe you need better, more positive people around you.
Visualize your breakthrough. That makes you good, right?
So church.
Visualize your breakthrough.
You know, maybe you need new friends. Visualize them people. You know, see that before you see it. You know what I mean? Mindful breathing, practicing techniques. It's all kind of breathing practices, books, exercise. Actually, Vaughn gave me a really good book. Maybe I'll show that next time we talk about this. Mm-hmm. But it was like really short, like 1 to 2 minute things that you could do.
I have one too, and mine is breathing. Emotional spirituality. So then you
sounds new age, Pam.
It is not. It's emotional spirituality. So it has breathing exercise where you're centered on God. You're focused on that as you during your breathing. So it ain't gotta be new age.
You got to promote your calmness. Some of y'all got the crystals and all the things. I'm not. Do you sage and all of that? Practice random acts of kindness. And it's not just really for the Honda commercials.
Yeah.
They got bread though. I kind of want that. I want that to happen. I feel like I was somewhere and the Honda people was actually there, and I really thought it was for me, and it wasn't. They had just finished doing somebody else. But I was like, that would have been cool. Anyway, yeah, just doing nice little thoughtful things for other people sometimes.
Again, it releases the dopamine when you do something nice for somebody else.
And it doesn't always have
dopamine is going to improve your mood. And the dopamine is going to make you feel better. And it's going to elevate your motivation level. And it's going to get rid of your anxiety and stress just by doing something nice for somebody.
It doesn't always have to be humping 100.
That's always that already.
I want to reiterate. Exercise also, but not that kind. Anyway, yeah, if you just maintain a positive outlook in life as much as you can, right?
And not that humping and hunching is
I'm not saying
totally bad.
Just
in the right context.
It's bad.
Make
for y'all.
your right choice about who you're.
We just saying, we talking to the people that you know that's not where you should be, who you should be a bunter. They taking all your time, your energy, your resources. We talking about that, okay? You know, there are positive scenarios, but some of y'all, you know who you are, and you know who the people are. We're not judging. We just saying.
Let us know what you think about this.
We just telling you what you already know. We confirming what you already know in your inner parts. We just here to back that thing up. I'm not really trying to. That was a bad reference.
I know. And let's just go on. Let's leave.
I'm trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying, okay? Because sex is a give and take and whatever. Anyways, it's not about denying.
And it got created. It did in the right
girl, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying some of y'all is out here
making poor decisions.
You know better. you know better, therefore you should
do better.
That's all.
That's all. We're trying to get everybody to do better.
For the other person, for everybody.
Including us. Amen.
Anyway, maintaining a positive outlook is not about denying what could be going wrong, right? What negative things could be going wrong. But it's about, again, making good choices, even through navigating through challenging times. And I think understanding positivity and negativity bias is important because it almost is like sort of building like a pros and cons list, okay?
That's good.
What, back to humping and hunching, positivity versus negativity, okay? There's some positive things about this, but there's also some negative things about this. If there's more negative things on the list than positive things, then perhaps you might want to make a change. That's all we're saying. And you can cultivate that, like we said, positive attitudes, rewiring your brain.
Just takes practice.
Attracting and recognizing, positive energy versus negative energy. Are you attracting craziness to you?
Oh God.
Huh? We'll save that for another time. But just take inventory. That's all we ask you to do is take inventory about the people, places, things, situations, situationships, etc., in your life.
And if you need to make some adjustments,
baby. That's all we say. We're just here to encourage you to do the things you already know how to do in your inner parts. Okay? That's all we're trying to say. So just let's all work, us as well, on embracing a positive mindset as a powerful tool for personal growth. Shout out to Natasha Rothwell. Happiness, okay?
Health.
We started with Pharrell, we're in with Pharrell.
Yep, happiness.
Health, a more fulfilling life, okay? And most importantly, grab a cup for this. Creating generational wellness.
Yes, because that's what we want
from the inside.
You and your life and your family and all your people. And for the culture.
For the culture. So anyway, we've been before you for quite some time, but it's been a good episode. I wasn't sure what it was going to be, but we came.
But we believe.
But we believe in you. And us, anyway, but around this time, I always ask you the same thing. Are you subscribed to the YouTube channel? Are you following us on the IG, Facebook, fan base? If you're listening to this in the auditory soundscape of the interweb somewhere, please review.
Gotcha.
Give us stars. Somebody sent that energy. Somebody sent that energy into my throat. I was giving you too much truth and you can't put it. Anyway, if you're listening to this somewhere, please rate, review, all that good stuff. And man, we'll see you next Thursday. We love y'all. We
have one more Thursday in July, so it'll be.
What is happening this summer? Anyway, y'all be easy. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Hey,
love you guys.